Welcome back. And as we move on to the softer side of things, we're looking at Nigeria's nominations in the Grammys. And by now, Nigeria is very comfortable in a number of categories in the annual Grammys. Jeffrey calls it the music's biggest night. So what should Nigerians expect from this year's nominations? And what are you saying about those nominations? Jeffrey has thrown a shade at me this morning that I don't know the names on the list. So I'm going to prove him wrong. There's Wizkid, there's Davido, there's Yemi Alade, there is Tems, and there is Rema. Bidemi, I got it right.
Yes, there's one more.
Bidemi joins us, by the way.
You didn't mention...
last year, after the disappointment...
She didn't mention Ashake.
Ashake, yes.
Yes, I think she lumped Ashake and Wizkid together with MMS. But Ashake is actually the owner of the song. Yes, so from the disappointment of last year's outing,
Why they threw us under the bus?
I'm telling you, and I told you guys that it's just a matter of time. It's only a matter of time before we dominate again. And you see, I feel like I'm a soothsayer right now.
It's your space. It's your space, absolutely. So I'm super excited because that particular category, I'm looking for that category where we have all Nigerians.
Oh yes, the best
African music
performance.
Yes. So let's begin with where we all sway before we go to, because I know that in the global music, none of us was nominated. Angelique Kidjo. Where we have Angelique Kidjo, global music.
Yes, the global music album. That's where you have Rema and Tems.
No, there's another category. I'll get to it. But
best global music performance.
Yes,
we don't have a nomination.
The best global music performance. That's what I was talking about. So let's leave the one word that we're ousted. Let's stay with the one that we have. Let's talk about Tems.
See, music in Africa is we own it.
Yep.
Pop music in Africa, it's Nigerian, it's our space. We do with it what we will. And you could see the result of that happening now with the Grammy nominations. 5 nominations slots, all 5 with Nigerians in it. So it speaks to how far we've gone in that space. When the nominations were announced, I saw comments from some music heads from Ghana, South Africa saying, oh no, this, that. But they should go and wait, their time will come. They should go and wait, their time will come.
After all, last year we were nominated and Tyler took it away from us, so it's our turn.
Yes.
So this is one Grammy that we know a Nigerian must win.
A Nigerian, at least one.
A Nigerian.
So in which category? The African category that Jeffrey's talking about?
Yes, in that where all nominees
are Nigerians. In that
except for one with Chris Brown, which is sensational. But we have 2 Nigerians featured on that track.
We hope Chris Brown doesn't win best.
That even if that category wins, then we get 2 trophies, because Davido is going to get a trophy, Loj is going to get a trophy.
Absolutely.
So either way, it's
not disrespect to Chris Brown, but let's Nigeria win.
So Wizkid has been nominated, Davido has been nominated, and we know the battle that has been on between both music giants in recent times. Is this going to further pit them against each other if one of them gets a trophy and the other doesn't?
So it comes with the territory. And I'm sure it's something that they are all also ready for. It's the fans that are always on the edge and are always... Because in all honesty, I see no reason why you can't enjoy a Wizkid song and enjoy a Davido song. So it's always going to happen. And if both of them don't win, it's going to be, oh, Wizkid fans are going to be like, oh, we already have one in the bag already. It's you that you don't have any. So, you know, it's always, either ways, it's going to spur and ignite that rivalry again.
So let's talk about Tems. Tems has 3 nominations. So Tems is very, I think she's had, in terms of nomination, Tems should have been nominated indirectly about 13, 12 or so.
Is it
I think about
6?
6, okay, 6. Now, if you look at other features she's had, not directly, I mean, some of the projects she's been on.
So the way the Grammy works, before you're eligible for a trophy, you must have contributed significantly to a work. So, for instance, if an album is nominated and you contributed to a track or to 2 tracks from like a body of work that has about 15 tracks in the album, you're not eligible for to win a trophy. So you must have contributed significantly. I think about maybe 30 to 40% of works must have been put into that project. So when you look at some other works that she probably had credits for, you understand, they don't record as nominations.
Okay, but at least her name has been listed in some of this work. That's what I'm talking about in terms of name mention. So let's talk about how this is her debut album.
Right.
And debut album, Lost, what was that, Something in the Wild?
Yes, Born in the Wild.
Born in the Wild. And then Love Me Jeje has been that song that has taken her. And she's even, the beautiful part of her nomination, if I get it correctly, is the fact that she also got nomination outside the traditional nominations that we see Africans being nominated.
Africa and Europe, yeah, the R&B category. That's a very big category. That's the type of category. That's the type of category where you go head to head with the likes of Beyonce, Rihanna, and some other heavyweights in the industry. So that's very, very huge. And I'm not surprised.
How did she do it? That's a question.
Grammy is the type of award that rewards excellence in musical quality. It's not about numbers. It's not about how much sales you've made. It's not about what your charts, how you're charting on the top charts and all of that. It's about the quality and, of course, about how you can lobby and canvass for votes. It's like politics at the end of the day. Your fellow artists and fellow colleagues in the music industry are going to be voting your work. So you need to be able to canvass. You need to be able to reach out to people and say, hey, have you listened to this? I would like you to vote for me. And of course, we must not forget that these artists also still have giant record labels behind them. They have, like, for instance, it's you speak about rivalry earlier, Jeffrey. It's not about just maybe a Burna Boy, Davido rivalry. It's also a rivalry between the record labels. So you see Burna Boy on a big imprint like Atlantic. You see Davido on Sony Music. You see Yemi Alade on Universal Music. So these people are also pulling the strings behind the scenes like, Sony had one over us with Tyler last year. Universal is going to be pulling the string and say, hey, we have to make sure that this time around it's an art.
So the money bags are at work.
Yeah, they are the giant names, the big names, and all of that. So there's a whole lot of politicking also going on behind the scenes.
This was last year, by the way. This is old edition.
Oh yes, we have Tyler there.
Tyler, yeah. And we have Ira Star there.
Yeah. So we have 3 of them returning.
Yeah, 3 returning.
We have Ashake returning.
We're going to talk about Rema as well.
But before we talk about Rema, let's talk about Yemi Alade, what she's bringing to the table as well. I believe this is her first Grammy nomination.
Yes. So for Yemi Alade, she's been phenomenal. She's been consistent and she's been very, very African over all of the past years. So it's not surprising. And you know, when you look at somebody who embodies Africa as much as Yemi embodies Africa, it's only natural. It's only natural for you to hope and pray that one day she gets the recognition that she deserves. When you look at what Angelique Kidjo has done, I look back and I feel like when it's time for her to pass the baton, I think it should go to Yemi Alade. Yeah, she's really, really doing great for African music.
So there's one guy we must talk about, young, brilliant, very coordinated. Finally is here, Rema.
And he started
it's a long time coming, right?
From the street of Benin.
Yes.
If I were in his management, I'll do an album title. From the street of Benin to the global stage.
Rema is supposed to be paying you some royalty because you're one of the very first person that interviewed Rema.
Yes.
I wish we had that video.
He belonged to a group. Then, yes, with Alpha P. Yeah. So I remember the first time I met him. After the conversation, I had a side talk.
This was when?
I think this was in 2015 or 2016. Yeah, I told him I could feel his energy. So after all of the conversation, we're just having other side talks, and I could see he's revved to do this. And something told me this boy is going somewhere, and I'm not surprised to see how far he has gone. And his music and how his music cuts across different regions, different. You could go to India, and if you go to India now, and Rema is like a god in India now. I'm telling you, his music is so huge, so big. They love him. They love him the way the way Awilo Lukumba was very popular in Nigeria back in those days. That's how big Rema.
Why do you think they love him so much in India?
But his music connected to them, his beats connected to them. When you hear when Rema says, "Baby, calm down," the whole country is singing, "Calm down."
Yeah, this is the World Cup.
Now I make the connection with Baby Calm Down. Right. Yeah.
So
so you knew that song, sis?
Yeah, I knew the song.
No, Jeff, you need to calm down. You need to calm down.
Jeff, calm down.
You have a way to oppress somebody. Use it well.
Absolutely.
But it speaks to Nigeria's foray into the Grammys. Speaks to the power of the kind of music and the acceptability. I've been, in a country, in an African country, in a major conference where Nigerian music was being played, and everybody, the whole hall exploded. You would have thought that you were in a hall, in a music dance hall back home where Nigerian music was being played. But here, this is a global stage with people from all over the world, and they were dancing to a Nigerian song. Speaking of which, what do you foresee, to be Nigeria's hold on the Grammys in the next few years if we're making this much of a success, with nominations, and a few trophies as well?
Right, I think it's beginning to happen. We are beginning to see the likes of Tems in major categories getting nominated for their own works, not because they featured in, say, perhaps a Futures or a Rihanna's song or something. For their own works, they are getting nominated in the major categories. That's what I think is going to happen. But beyond all of that, you speak about how big and how the industry is growing. The question that boggles the mind is, what are we doing around that industry? There's a whole lot of value chain that could be created in that industry. Are we taking advantage of it? Are we taking advantage of the investment coming into the industry? Because now you have the presence of giant record labels in Nigeria trying to come and sign record deals with upcoming talents, trying to discover the next Burna Boy, trying to see who is going to be the next big producer and all of that. What are we creating? What value chain are we creating in this regard? We're still having issues with copyright management in Nigeria. There's still rivalry. Is it MCSN? Is it COSON? Is it this and that? We need to get our acts right.
Together.
So that, yes, we need to get it together so that we could take full advantage of this industry when we have this much attention on it.
Yeah, and you're right. There's a whole value chain, to be tapped into in terms of costume and everything else. You talked about music management. So let's go to the meat of the matter, which is predictions. What are your predictions for this year?
Okay. This guy is almost a spoiler for me now.
Who?
If Chris Brown wins, I can't say it's Nigeria now.
It is because he's heavily.
I almost wanted to say that Nigeria will win.
Yes.
If Chris Brown wins, it's Chris Brown's a song, but featuring Davido and Loje.
Yeah, it's as much their songs as.
It is ours.
Yes, because they contributed heavily to it. They had their verses and all of that. So I don't think it will be any less of a win if the trophy goes to Sensational, which is originally in Chris Brown's album, right? But the inspiration is from Afrobeat. You could hear him, you could see him. Everything about the song is Nigerian, even though Chris Brown is American.
So in your prediction, you're going to predict as well as Axe in your prediction. Is it not interesting to see a non-African getting nominated in an African category? Are we going to see more of that in the future?
Oh yes. So the genre is becoming very big, and we're happy to share. We should be happy to share.
No, let's enjoy it first.
Afrobeat, but the genre now, you mean Afrobeat?
Afrobeat, yes. Yeah. So look at what happened with reggae and dancehall. Came from Jamaica, and the entire world fell in love with it, and that's why it's almost impossible for that music genre to die, even though it feels like it has gone to the back seat and all of that, but it's still out there. You see Nigerians still making dancehall music, Nigerians still making, and same Americans, you have artists all over the country, the world, making those kind of. So we should share Afrobeats with the rest
You have not made a prediction.
Your projection. In 2 seconds.
I think Davido deserves it. So I think Sensational. I think Davido, it's high time he got something.
What about Tems? Are you going to stake anything on her for the R&B category?
Yes. So I know if she were to pick,
have Kelani Coco Jones there. So
if she were to pick, she would want that category because it's a major category, and we should root for her to.
You're playing safe, right?
Yeah.
All right. We hope we'll be back, on the same set to celebrate our wins at the Grammys. Thank you so much.
I look forward to that. Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, entertainment correspondent Bidemi Dairo there, bringing us up to speed with what to expect from the Grammys. And from there, we wrap it up on today's edition of the program. As we say, the week is just starting off. We have quite a lot for you in the coming week. So in this week, rather. So thank you so much for joining us today. I am Bukola Koka.
All right, tomorrow there's going to be a new governor in Edo State. Wednesday, Trump will meet Biden. Saturday, there will be an election in Ondo. So keep your eyes on the polity. I'm Jeffrey. On top of the hour will be Sunrise Daily. Bye-bye.